Hello everybody, my name is Scott Chacon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of GitButler, and I want to show you where the GitButler client is now and give you an idea of kind of what you can do with it. So I'm going to do a quick demo, be really fast. If you're interested in what a new Git client can look like, keep watching. So this is what GitButler looks like today. It's had a little bit of a facelift from the last time that I've been doing videos like this, so I just want to walk through some simple things that you can do. Now, the big thing about GitButler is that you can be on multiple branches simultaneously. So this is a thing that we call virtual branches, and I want to show you what this looks like. It really takes away a lot of the work involved in branching and merging. So in this particular case, I'm going to work on this website, which is the website for an upcoming conference that we have called The Merge, and I'm just going to do a couple of changes to it as though I was working on the website, and we can see what it's like to be able to work in multiple branches at the same time. So let's give me a couple of things to do. The first thing that I'm going to do is maybe change this copy here, Developer Experience Conference, and I'll just say, I don't know, I'll go in and I'll call it something a little bit different. Let's see where we're at. So here's the code that we have, Developer Experience Conference. And I'm going to call it a developer awesome time. Okay. And now if I go back to my website, I can see that it changed to developer awesome time. Now this is going to be the first change that I made. Now I'm working on this feature, so I'm going to go over to my GitButler client, and I'm going to see that I have this change already. It has picked it up. It's kind of looking at your files all the time in the background. It's also recording all of these changes, and it can upload it to the cloud if you'd like to sort of back everything up, but we're not going to go into that right now. We're just going to look at what it's like to work on individual files. So now let's go in and we'll make another change. We'll make something farther down the line here. Let's say somebody's told me that it's not the Berlin Arena, it's the Berlin general area. And so I can make that change as well. Now you can see that this has changed on the website here. And I can go into GitButler and I can see that it's broken out into a separate hunk, right? So I have the awesome time and I have the general area here. And one of the things that I can do here is I can take this hunk and I can move it into another branch if I would like to. So I can come over here, I can drag it into another hunk, and I can say, these are two different changes. This branch has the general area as one change. This branch here has the awesome time as another change, and I can keep those separate. And I can actually commit them separately. So this one is place change. I can name the branch here. This one is awesome time. And now I have two different branches, right? And if I commit them and push them to the server, to GitHub, to GitLab, to whatever it is that you're using, I can also have GitButler generate a commit message for me if I want to, so I can come in here and I can say be concise or use emojis. There's a couple different things you can do. And if I hit generate message, it will just generate a commit message for me. Over here, I'll do the same thing, but I won't use these ones. And I mean, it's also concise because it's a pretty small change here. But and then I can commit those if I want to commit those. Now, the other thing that I can do is I can commit it, I can undo it. If I want to, I can write a different commit message. I can commit it again, or I can keep working, right? So let's say I want to come in here. I want to add something to this. So instead of awesome time, I want to say awesome times for all. Doesn't really matter. That just changes the thing. Or I can commit this, and then I can keep working, and I can say awesome times all around. Doesn't really matter. And again, this is just saying, okay, it's changing this. I can commit this if I'd like to, give it a little thing. I can undo it. I can even take this and I can squash it by just dragging it into the one before. That puts it together, or I can undo all of them together. So it gives me a lot of sort of flexibility about how to put my commits together. So let's commit this. Actually, let's not commit this yet. Let's just undo this. I want to unapply these changes and keep the place change. So now if I go back to my website, I can see the Berlin general area change is still there, but this has been reverted back to Developer Experience Conference. Let's make one more change. I want to change the background here so it's really clear. So I'm going to change this background to this beautiful, I don't even know what this is, a red color of some sort. And I'm going to go back to my thing, and I can see that I have these two changes both in the place change. But this isn't a place change. This is something different. So I'm going to drag this into another branch, and generate a branch name for it. So the branch name is now update background color. It kind of figures out what it's doing. And I can unapply this if I want to. And if I go back to my website, I can see that it's been reverted. Or I can come into this and I can say, apply this branch, and it comes back, right? So I can have all of these changes completely separate and work on them separately and keep them in branches and stash them and apply them in whatever order that I want to. And so let's go ahead and commit this background change and then go ahead and push it. So I'm going to push it to the remote. Now, I can, if I go here as well, I can do the same thing. I can commit this. I can either push it to the remote and create a branch on whatever the upstream remote is, or I can also choose to create a pull request automatically, and that does both at the same time. So it pushes it to GitHub and it opens up a pull request. So one of the things that you can do in GitButler now is in your settings, there's this GitHub integration. If you have that set on, it will be able to automatically create a pull request for you, and then you can just go directly to the pull request. And so this is, you can see the place change that we did before. So here we have, it's just Berlin Arena to Berlin General Area. That's the only change that it has. It doesn't have the background change. It doesn't have all the other changes that we've had. If we look at the website right now, it just has this change. It doesn't have the background change, even though that's actually applied, right? And then I can come back into my thing here, and I can apply this awesome time as well. And then I have this awesome times thing and the background and general area. And it helps me kind of keep all of my branches separate. And again, I can even come into, let's just take everything off except for the place change. We'll stash this background color as well. I can even undo this and keep editing it, right? So if I go in and say, not general area, but something else, let's see, where was that? Oh no, that's another one. If I go in here and I say general, we're moving it to Hamburg. You can see that I've changed this as well. I undid the commit. I can see that I have already pushed something, right? And so if I actually generate a message here and I commit it, it asks me if I want to force push it. So I can actually force push this to the branch that I have if I'm sort of changing what I have there. And again, I can keep making changes, I can keep committing changes, and I can squash them together if I'd like to and do a force push. So it really helps you keep all of your work separate and understandable, and I can stash or unstash stuff whenever I want to. So let's put all of my work back in. I have all of these changes there simultaneously, and I can commit them and push them all completely separately from each other. So let's change this awesome time. We'll create a pull request off of that. We'll create a pull request off of this branch that we already pushed here. And so now if I actually go to GitHub, I can see that I have a whole bunch of pull requests waiting on all of the different branches that I had worked on simultaneously. So that's a general overview of how to work on virtual branches, how to work with the GitButler client, how to open pull requests and go through the normal pull request workflow. And I hope that that's helpful. I hope that you use it, and please use it. Join our Discord. It's actually very easy. If you're downloading the client, you can go into your settings here, and at the bottom, there's our Join Our Discord button that you can come in and tell us how we can make things more valuable, how we can make things easier or more useful for the workflow that you have. So please try it out. Please give us feedback, and I hope you enjoy using GitButler.